Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is April 17, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 65 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up in front of me. Before I begin, I'm gonna mention, as I always mention in every video, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS, and we're actually gonna go to the homepage, and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question comment from Happy P. Hello sir, thank you for helping people like us through your videos. Anytime, you're very welcome. I came to USA as a student and last year I was granted asylum. Congratulations. And also issued new I-94 which has different number than the last time I entered as student. Okay, I'm confused which I-94 details to provide in I-485 form. I saw in one of your videos where you said to use the new I-94 details which was given to me after my asylum was approved, but what is confusing is question starts with when I last entered USA. So basically I entered as student and I have different I-94 details on the website. Can you please help how to answer this question? Of course, Happy P, thank you for your question. So basically whenever they specifically say that they want the I-94 number when you enter the USA, that's the I-94 that you want to provide. All right, anytime that you are applying for anything and it asks for I-94 in general, then you want to provide the most recent I-94 number that you have. Before it was a little bit easier. I know now it's a little bit confusing because they actually started issuing the new I-94 numbers. It used to be you come into the country, whatever status it is, you are issued the I-94, and then if you are granted asylum, they just put it on the same physical, actual I-94 card. It used to be the physical cards. Now they don't do it anymore, so it kind of creates the confusion. But yes, when they specifically ask you for when you last entered USA, then you want to definitely provide that. So I'm gonna post this, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Happy Me. All right, everybody happy today. That's good. Hi, thank you for providing such informative videos. You're very welcome. I have one question. I came a student and last year my asylum got granted. I wonder if it's the same Happy as the first one, but we'll see. And currently filing my I-485 form. I'm a bit confused on this question. Are you applying for adjustment based on the Immigration and Nationality Act? Okay, section 245I, page 4, yes. Should I check yes or no for this question? Okay, so it's definitely no in your case. Basically, this particular 245I is it's for very small group of people that have had some kind of petition back in like 2001, I think, if I remember correctly. So it's very narrow for very specific group of people. So it definitely does not apply to you because you said that you came as a student. And last year you were granted asylum, so it's recent. So it has nothing to do with more than 20 years ago. So yeah, just check no for that one. I'm gonna put this, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Chad Leslie. I am F3. Where do they reach? I'm living in Jamaica. Okay, so your chargeability area in Jamaica, so it's all chargeability area. F3. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see what we got for the F3 category. Let's see. So we're gonna go to the priority dates. Let's see what we have kind of information. You don't really provide any much of the information, but I'll tell you what are they're looking at right now, as of April 2023. Well, actually we have May 2023 visa bulletin that just came out. So if we look at the priority dates for F3 category for all chargeability area, we see that the immigrant visas, according to the most recent visa bulletin, we see that the immigrant visas are becoming available for people who have filed their cases, that their I-130 petitions for alien relative back in February 2010. All right, so it depends on when your priority date is. For example, if your priority date is in February 2015, for example, then you can judge based on this about 5 more years wait time. That's really how we do these rough estimates. Again, it's very rough estimates because things might speed up, things might slow down. But this is so far what we kind of can tell. So if you want, you can give me a little bit more information. Just come back. You can post on this video or whatever video. It doesn't really matter. All the comments show up in order in front of me on the same wall in the comment section for me. Just make sure, please don't respond to my comment within your comment, because I don't get notifications for those. So just submit a separate comment. Let me know your priority date. Let me know if you're already documentarily qualified or not. Obviously your category, you already specified, but it's for everybody else, your category. And of course your chargeability area would be helpful as well, and I can give you some rough estimates. All right, moving further to Antonia Metellus. My name is Antonia. I want to know where I'm assuming I can find a good lawyer for waiver. Okay, so Antonia, whenever it comes to finding good lawyers in general, I would say, but specifically good immigration attorneys, because we're talking about the immigration field, and immigration field, it's a little bit different compared to really a lot of other fields that are out there. For one is that immigration law, it's a federal law. So that kind of makes it, a huge difference. So you're not really restricted to one state. You're not really restricted to one area. You can have an attorney, an immigration attorney. You live in California and you can have an immigration attorney from New York. It's doable. It'll probably be unnecessary, costs associated with that, because, if they have to travel back and forth for the court hearings and stuff like this, it will come out of your pocket. But you can still do it. Now, whenever it comes to finding good immigration attorneys, I usually have, based on my own experience, because I'm an immigrant myself and I worked with a lot of immigration attorneys as an employee and also as a customer, all right? And whenever it comes to finding immigration attorneys, you want to look at a few things, okay? First of all, shop around for an immigration attorney. How do you shop around for an immigration attorney? Well, obviously you do your research, you find in the area, just go to any search engine, Google, whatever you use, Google immigration attorneys in my area, right? You have like 50 results, for example. Out of these 50 results, you want to find attorneys that are specifically specializing in the area that you are, that you need them to kind of specialize in. For example, if we are talking specifically about I-130, a petition for alien relative, that's family immigration law. So you want to make sure that you find an attorney that specializes in the family immigration law. Because again, the field of immigration is very, there's a lot of stuff involved. There's naturalizations, adjustment of status, asylum, refugee, there are employment-based visas, there's investment-based, there's just a whole lot of stuff, all right? You need specifically for a waiver. Now it depends on what kind of waiver we're talking about. There are waivers for, just regular fee waiver, if you don't want to pay for the application form. There's the inadmissibility waiver, for example, if there is something, associated with, past criminal record or something along those lines, and it creates inadmissibility for a certain immigration category, and you need to file that inadmissibility waiver. You want to find an attorney that specializes in those waivers. So you make a list, let's say out of 50, you found 10 attorneys that specialize in that, specifically in those inadmissibility waivers. For example, if that's what we're talking about here, right? You call all of them. You call all 10 of them. And another thing, kind of like a tip, number 2 for you to find a good immigration attorney, is I believe, and this is not a fact, this is just my personal, it doesn't come from any official government source, it's just from my experience. I believe that a good, quality, genuine immigration attorney, as a good, genuine human being who is actually in the field of immigration law, who wants to help, not to enrich their pockets, all right, but that genuinely want to help people, they will always offer free consultations, all right? Not only that, they will also be upfront with all the information. They will tell you during this free consultation exactly what it entails, like the process itself. So basically it will look like this. Okay, Antonia, so you want to file inadmissibility waiver. This is how it's done. This is how much the waiver itself costs. This is how much my service costs. This is your total cost. This is how long the process approximately will take. This is how much chance you have. Most likely it will be denied. Most likely will be approved. Whatever the case is. But very, very upfront. All right. And obviously, after you call 10 out of 10 attorneys, you might have 3 that offer free consultation. You go to all 3 of these free consultations, you're not really spending any money. It's just you're putting in your time shopping around, right, for a good attorney. You have a face-to-face conversation with them or over the phone conversation with them, and it will be clear to you who is there to help people and who is there to just profit off of this system. And if they are there just to profit off the system, you don't want to work with people like that. All right, you're better off doing your own research and filing the waiver yourself instead of putting yourself in the hands of someone who just wants to basically take advantage of you. And I know if an immigration attorney is watching this video right now, they're probably not gonna like this, but it is what it is. I'm not doing this for someone to like me. I'm doing this to help people. I personally don't profit anything from doing any of this. It's really just more so of the intentions, and it really comes down anything, anywhere. It comes down to whatever kind of service you're getting, whatever kind of product you're getting. What are the intentions of the person that is selling you that service, that is selling you that product? Are they there to, give you something of value and help you, or they just want to profit? And if they just want to profit, then it's probably not someone you want to work with, or someone not you want to buy anything from. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Miriam. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. Hi, they scheduled for me visa interview appointment for April 27, but on April 3 they annulled it. What's gonna happen next? In how long will I get my interview appointment again? My priority date is December 14, 2020. Visa status F2A. And should I do something to get my appointment back, or do they reschedule themselves? Thank you for your answer. Miriam, you're very welcome. It's very peculiar situation. I have never seen them schedule an interview and then just completely annulled it. I've seen some cases where they reschedule the interview, but they just email you the new date, but never just completely annulled it. I wonder if it has something to do with the embassy itself, and it probably is, because it's a very, very strange case. I'm thinking it has to do specifically with the US embassy in the country where it is. Maybe they experienced some kind of delay, some kind of something. April 27th, so on April 3, so they told you that they annulled it 2 weeks ago, and within 2 weeks ago they still have not scheduled you a new interview. Well, I would recommend you can do 2 things in this case. You can, and I would recommend doing both of them. Just to be on the safe side, be very professional, be very polite, but reach out to submit a public inquiry form with the NVC, and I'll actually show you how to find it. Actually, I have it open here already, but I'll show you how to find through the link that you will find in the description below. So in the description below, you will find a link for the visa bulletin for May 2023. So if you click on Contact Us, and this is the official government website for the US Department of State. If you're not familiar with it, probably are. But we're going to go to Contact Us. I'm going to open a new tab. And then you will scroll down. You will see US Visa Contacts. We're going to go here. And then you'll scroll down, and you will see in the graph at the very top row, you will see Public Inquiry Form. Click on that. And then Public Inquiry Form once again here. And it will give you the online public inquiry form where you will need to fill out, obviously, the NVC case number, principal applicant, petitioner's full name, and then the question, and basically just ask them, explain the situation, explain that it was, that your appointment was canceled, and just say that you want to follow up and see what is going on and when the new date will be scheduled. So that's number 1. That's with NVC, National Visa Center. Another thing that you can definitely do, and I would recommend you do, it's not guaranteed. Most likely they're not gonna give you any information, because in most cases they don't. But it's still, I think, is worth a shot. Is reach out to the U.S. Embassy directly in the country where you are, where the U.S. Embassy is, and see if you can get any information from them. Maybe at least briefly they can explain why it was canceled, and approximately to when it will be rescheduled. I do think that they will reschedule it pretty quickly, because this is really, I mean, I've never seen anything like this. This is really strange. So that's why I'm thinking it will be rescheduled pretty quickly. But yeah, I would still reach out just to be on the safe side, and kind of, request some information. And if you do get rescheduled, it would be really nice if you could come back to this channel and let us know, me and everybody who's watching these videos, that you were rescheduled, and for how far ahead they are scheduled to, just, so we know. Usually they reschedule it 30 days in advance. So let's say, if they schedule it, let's say if they do the scheduling April 30, they will most likely schedule it somewhere around May 30 days in advance. But let us know. I think it will be helpful to a lot of people. All right, let's move on to the next one from Ronalyn McCam. I noticed effective May 29, 2023, when you go to the USCIS website, it appears that the processing time for F2B is 58 months. 80% of completeness is the processing for F2B. What does it mean? Okay, I'm pretty sure, Ronalyn, you are referring to the 80% of the cases, and we're actually going to go to USCIS processing times. We're going to go to tools. And for everyone who's watching, if you need to know how to find the processing times, case status online, and then we scroll all the way down and you see the processing times here. So we're gonna go to, let's see, I-130, and it really doesn't matter which one, but we're gonna select, let's see, filing for spouse. This is F2A, permanent resident for unmarried son or daughter. F2B, it really doesn't matter which one. Actually, let's see, did you say which particular? Nope, but we'll select Texas for the example of this. So this one shows 40. Okay, so this is what you're referring to. 80% of cases are completed within. So what it means is that 80% of cases are completed within around 40 months. All right, 40 and a half months. But there is still 20% of cases that take a little bit longer than 40 months. And maybe a little bit faster they take than 40 months. All right, so this is just 80% of cases that are completed within that time. So it's not like 80% of cases completion, but 80% of the cases are completed within that time. So just in case, basically it's a disclaimer by USCIS telling you that if your case is taking a little bit longer than this, it's normal, because it probably fell within the 20%. And that's why I usually recommend that if your case is a little bit over this amount that is shown, not necessarily 40 months, but in general, whatever the processing time is for your particular application, wait about 10% over. So for example, if it's showing 40 months for your case in your processing center, wait 10%, which is 4 months, wait another 4 months, and then if nothing happens, then you submit the request inquiry with USCIS. The case inquiry, here it is, this one. Inquire about the case outside normal processing times. All right, so I'm gonna pause this and we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, this is from Miriam again. Let's see if it's the same exact thing. Yes, it is. So I have already addressed it here in the volume 65. Let's move on further to Ahmad Dildar. Thanks so much. You're very welcome. Again from Ahmad Dildar. Nice, good. I'm glad this is helpful. Moving further to Ardo Abdullahi. F1 until F4 I will be filled because I like unattended state citizenship. And then good, congratulations, thanks again. Well, you're very welcome, Ardo. I'm glad this is helpful. I'm not sure if this is a question, Ardo, but if it is, please a little bit more details, and I will address it That don't seem very, very clear to me. Okay, moving further to King Germain. Hello, sir. I'm from the F1 category. My priority date is April 22, 2016, and my documentarily qualified is January 25, 2022. I'm from Jamaica. Can you please tell me when my immigrant will be available? Thank you, sir. You're very welcome, King. Thank you for your question, and plenty of information to give you some rough estimates. So you're from Jamaica, so it's all chargeability area. F1, let's take a look at F1 visa bulletin, and we're gonna go to priority dates first, and we'll take a look. January 2017, and your priority date is actually in April 2016, so you're almost 1 year ahead. So your immigrant visa is definitely should be already available, considering that you are already documentarily qualified in January 22, so more than a year ago, a year and 3 months roughly. We will take a look at the, so it's here there from December 20. So this is not updated. This hasn't been updated for a while now. But we know from most recent update from F2A that we got in April 2023 visa bulletin, telling us that people that have been already documentarily qualified back in September 2020 are just now getting their interviews scheduled, which shows about 2.5 years backlog on the interviews specifically, and it is associated with the closures that we had during the pandemic. There are a few things that I always tell people to keep in mind whenever it comes to that particular backlog. It sounds a little bit scary as of right now. 2.5 years waiting for an interview, it sounds pretty bad. But keep in mind that this is not the backlog that we have because of the lack of availability of the immigrant visa. This is the backlog that we have because the embassies were closed and they are now catching up. There is no limitation on how many interviews they can schedule except for the actual scheduling. So this should be moving way faster. But because you were documentarily qualified back in 22 and you already waited a whole more than a year, like a year and a half almost, I would say roughly as of right now about a year you're looking at for that schedule of that interview, roughly. But I think it will be much faster. Why? Because they're now catching up. Regardless, I think in the next couple months, hopefully, it depends. They will still keep processing the cases. They will still keep scheduling the interview. The question is whether we will see it reflect on the numbers in the visa bulletin right here or not for the rest of the categories. Because this, we haven't seen any updates. Just the F2A, and we can do this kind of more or less judgment. You can see that these look pretty crazy. This looks ridiculous. The only one that we had actually updated and give us something real, something that answers our questions is the F2A, and judging by F2A, again, it's 2.5 years. So King, about roughly a year to wait for an interview, but again, I think it's going to be much faster because now they're open, now there's no closures, and hopefully there will be none. So we will see some much faster movement. Again, hopefully in the next 2 months we'll know for sure. We'll have some better details. All right, let's move on to the next one from Dennis to 4. Hi, I'm just a step to be given the full access to pay in the F1. So I'm in wait to embrace the third step to pay. That's great, Dennis. It kind of like gets me thinking, right? When you're an immigrant and you're doing everything legally, you're going through the process. You see Dennis here, he wants to pay. It's not like he wants to take away something. He wants to give. And yet he has to wait. And that just shows how ridiculous the system is. Whoever designed it is just, what do you expect? And I'm sorry, Dennis, that you have to wait to pay. But this is just how the system is. And, if we want to participate in it, and if we want to get these statuses right out of it, and I myself am, part of it. I am guilty of it because I came here as an immigrant and I went through this whole process and I paid fees and I really suffered quite a lot chasing after these, paper statuses saying that, oh, you are now permanent resident. Oh, you are now a citizen. It's if you think about it, it just starts kind of like downing on you. But enough of that. Let's move on to the next question from Sima SH. Final action in first category of F3 has not moved forward since Biden administration came to office. Shame on USCIS, shame on Biden administration who abandoned families base category visas who are waiting for many years to enter to the US legally with respect to immigration laws and from front doors for illegal undocumented immigrants who comes from wall borders, back doors illegally. Sima, yes, you're definitely correct. And it's really sad. And again, it kind of goes hand in hand to what I was saying in response to Dennis. That's just the system is. And it's not necessarily Biden administration, Trump administration, whoever was before to Obama administration, and then before that Bush administration. At the end of the day, whenever we are talking politics, whenever we are talking about politicians that are, elected officials, most of the times those people that sign these policies, that make these decisions on these policies that affect everybody, especially us immigrants, especially the immigrants that go through the process. I usually do not even refer to people that use loopholes as immigrants. I don't think that that's an immigrant. Immigrant is someone who comes into the country or already with some kind of status, basically accomplishing that status back in their country, or coming here and then working on that status, going through the whole process the way it was designed by these politicians, the way it was designed by these policymakers, right? And then they have the intentions, and again we come down to the intentions, having the righteous intentions, being righteous. You come into a different country, you have respect for the regulations, you have respect for the system, you have respect for the culture, and you gradually immigrate, right? You blend into it, you become part of it, okay? Instead of searching for loopholes. We don't call someone a businessman who goes and robs a bank, and because it is a loophole. It is a loophole because the money are in the bank, and you can just go and take them, and if you are not caught, now you just conducted a business of taking money out of the bank your own way through the loophole. Whether it's legal or illegal, whatever, it is illegal, obviously. We all know that. And at the end of the day, now you have a lot of money, just like someone who worked hard and dedicated their life to building a business. And again, it doesn't necessarily say that someone who built a business, who dedicated their life and built a business, is better person, because again it comes down to intentions. It comes down to whether the intentions are righteous or not. But people that simply jump over the border without any regard to the system, really without any regard to all the people that don't have the privilege of living within the vicinity of the United States, where we could just walk over the border and be here and now say, okay, well, now I'm here, that's it, I'm here, I'm an immigrant, right? Because most of us, we live, across the oceans, across the seas, and for us, we can just walk over the border. So why are we not entitled to that loophole, privilege loophole, right? But again, it's a personal choice, and even the people that are, that live in the vicinity of United States, that they can just walk on land, they are making their own choice to do that, and take advantage of that loophole. But again, you can't really put the blame on these people, you can't really put the blame on that people, you can't really put the blame on the politicians, because again, we are talking about this very, very corrupt system that is getting worse, and I always get the questions here on this channel: will this get any better. Immigration reform, we need the immigration reform. The more you try to change the system, the worse it becomes, because the more we change the system, the more we put in of our own world of the flesh, human involvement into the system. The more we make this system that we ourselves created grow into something that is already not very good. It started not very good, it went on not very good, and gradually it's getting worse, unfortunately. And I don't want to make it sound depressing or anything like this, because like I said, I'm part of it, and I went through it myself. But it's just whether you want to accept it and just operate within the system, if you want to participate in it, and just for yourself, be as righteous as you can, and try to do as much of the right thing. Or you want to blame everybody and everything, and hope that it's gonna change, and nothing will change. But it's enough for today. It's already been 30 minutes. Thank you everyone for asking your questions. If you have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments below. I will be happy to address them. Your questions I'm grateful for your questions, because without your questions I wouldn't be able to make these videos. And if I'm helpful to someone, at least, that's it. That's a blessing to me, and that's really all I really, in this channel, all I care about. So thank you very much everyone for your questions. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.